All right, you all take a look at this right here. This is what you're going to need to make your lard soap. Now, I simply went out to the grocery store, the Amish store, and purchased 2 pounds of lard because I don't raise hogs anymore. You'll need a set of scales to weigh it with, or measuring cups to measure it with, whichever one you want to do. Always make sure that you have some apple cider vinegar on hand in case you have an accident with your lye water. The apple cider vinegar will neutralize the lye, okay? That's why you always want to have that stuff available, because it will neutralize the base, okay? So we got a pot to put the lard in. That's what we're going to do. We'll talk a little bit about it. I usually just use these little plastic molds to pour it in because it's simple to get the stuff back out, and then you can just cut it up into blocks. But I purchased these somewhere a few years ago, and that's what they look like. I got a couple of I hope you can see that right there. Now, I've got a measuring cup right here that's going to measure me up to, we're supposed to have 7 ounces of this, okay? So what I'm going to do is pour this concentrated liquid over in here until we've got 7 ounces. And that's what we've got. Now, you can take glass containers, especially if they're oven treated containers, and you can do this very same thing right here. I don't have one that I know of. I don't have one up at the house or anything. So all we're doing is we're melting this fat down right in the, melting this lard down. Right now I've got the window open, you all, because you can get some nasty fumes off of lye. You don't want to breathe them, okay? It's right at 100 degrees, you all. So that's close enough for that. Now the lye, if I can get this back in here, okay. So that will hold the temperature there for just a second or two. Let me cut that completely off. We will take it off of this as we pour it in there. Now, if you're going to add, let's say you're going to add a scent to this, or whatever it is else you're going to add to it, you do not want to add that at this particular time. You want to add it just about the time you get ready, right before you get ready to pour it. Then put your scent in there, okay? Whatever kind of scent you're going to add to it. I really don't like scented soaps. Lots of people do. They like the pretty perfumey soaps. I don't like them, okay? But this basic recipe right here, you all, is just a basic lard recipe. Now, this soap will not be as hard a soap as the soap would be if you would have used the tallow out of the deer or the tallow out of the sheep or whatever else, okay? With that, you all, remember you're putting hot grease and a hot liquid together. So that needs to cool down just a fuzz more, okay? Just a little bit too hot to put in this grease right here. You got the stirring stick ready. We've got the vinegar ready in case we need to neutralize it. We've got gloves over here. So just in a minute or two, that should be ready to go, okay? Right here. We're getting ready to do the feather test. And yes, sir, or yes, ma'am, it's definitely melting the feather, okay? So that stuff's strong enough. All right, you all, here we go. Let's make sure the temperatures are pretty much the same. $100. And around right at 100 degrees, so that's good enough, you all. So what you want to do is you want to slowly add your lye water, you all, to your oil. Make sure you get the whole amount in there, you guys. All you got to do is stick with this, you guys. You can't just give up on it, okay? The minute you give up on it, it'll turn hard right in the bucket on you, okay? So just continue to stir. And I can see right now that it's sort of starting to stick to the sides just a little bit, and that's a good indication. It's a good indication that we're going to have a trace here just in a couple of minutes. Okay, you guys. That soap is ready to pour. Lay that aside. It into that mold. Always make sure you got something extra, you guys, to pour it in, okay? So these right here are actually 1 pound molds that I'm pouring that stuff into. See how it's coming out of there like honey? And I've got some stuck right there in the bottom of it that actually stuck. All right, you all. Don't just jam your hand down in there now and say, well, I'll just clean that out of there, because if you do, you ain't gonna have no skin left on them, okay? You got your raw lye mixed with your fat. Now your process has started. We're going to cover them up, you all, with a cloth. Both of them. In my warm shop. Just lay a cloth right over top of them to sort of keep them warm until they set up. Lye can be used for all kind of things, not just making soap. You can clean toilets. You can clean out drains. Or just about anything else you want to clean. You can clean grease off of a pot that's where you've let that stuff sit there and burn up in your pot, and you think you'll never get that grease out of that pot, You just put you some lye water in there and just let it cook in that pot, and that stuff will just dissolve right off of that right there. Like I said, this right here is a silver container I've got right there, y'all. Got that thing in the flea market. So I'll throw this in there for just general purpose. This morning when I went out to the Amish store, if sometimes you can get them little Amish girls to talk to you. So I asked the girl at the counter how they made their soap, and of course they made it with lye, you know, just like I'm doing here. And she said, you know, you can make laundry detergent that way too. And I said, yeah. How do you make yours? So she said that they got one of them old Ringer washers like I got sitting around the corner here, and she said they just take some of that soap, a bar of that soap, put their clothes in the laundry, and then they just take a knife and they shave off some of that soap right into the laundry, and that's how they make laundry soap as well. But anyway, you all, like I said, have yourself a Merry Christmas.